Very good morning to all of you. Now, today we are going to discuss about National Education Policy 2020 Part 4. We have already discussed Part 1, Part 2, Part 3. Today our lecture and class is about the Part 4. I welcome you all to this session, that is Part 4. Introduction. As usual, our central government of India felt very seriously the need for the changes to be made in the old education policy 1986. Our main purpose of the National Education Policy 2020 is to eliminate the shortage of the human resource, manpower, in the field of science, technology, accounts, auditing, costing, etc., but academic and industry. So, the central government has initiated the process of formulating the new education policy by making necessary alterations in 1986 policy with a small modification in the year 1992. Now it is going to be a very fresh with entirely a new education policy. We will discuss in this class about empowered governance and autonomy. This was the fourth concentration, and transformation of regulatory system was the sixth. The empowered governance was the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th concentration, and transformation of regulatory system, it is the 6th concentration of the National Education Policy 2020. So far we have discussed new educational architecture, focus on the high quality liberal education, creating a conducive learning environment, energized, engaged and capable faculty. Today we are going to discuss, in this class we are going to discuss empowered governance and autonomy, transformation of regulatory system. These are very important. Please concentrate fully. Don't skip that video. Empowered governance and autonomy. See, to do any work, we want power. In commerce education, we used to say authority. And what is the end result? That accountability. In normal sentence, we will say responsibility. Authority and responsibility. Then authority means for power to do some work. The same manner here, I told a lot of things. Quality is very important. Remove the shortage of manpower. Education system, 800 universities and 40,000 colleges will be reduced to 15,000 good institutions. Lot of things I told, which is in the National Education Policy. High quality education research requires intellectual ferment in a nurturing culture. The governance of higher education institution determines this culture. See, if you say a particular educational institution, you want quality, so the culture should be nurtured there. And intellectual format should be there. The group of very intellectuals should be there. Then only the people can sail in that boat formally, regularly, systematically. Generally, now we are seeing no two minds are identical. Now I am differing here. I expect, as a professor, I expect once if you complete that higher education, the people, those who have completed the higher education and called higher educated people, they should have consensus of ad idem, that is the identity of the mind. So whatever I feel, and that should be felt by everyone. This is my expectation, but it is very wrong. People, it is very difficult to join. Even uneducated people can be united, but educated people, I don't know what is the role of then higher education. I have seen many people. Suppose one person says something, means immediately there will be opposition from the others. In normal sense, I am telling. See, criticism and everything is quite, it is inevitable. I accept. But in to some extent, say dress code. Dress code. Some teachers, I am not criticizing anyone. My dear friends, I am not criticizing anyone. Dress is their personal matter outside the educational institution. But as far as the educational institution inside is concerned, there should be a dress code. There must be a dress code. The person who is not coming within that dress code should be totally dismissed from the job. This is my idea. So we are finding some people are coming to higher education institutions in the name of teachers with casual dresses, no formal dress. Let it be any dress, you say it is the formal dress, there is no problem. Even recently, just we have seen in TV, two countries heads are meeting, and the secretary of that one country says to the head of the other country, so you are coming to meet our head with wearing some t-shirts or something like this? No, I am not criticizing anyone. I am just telling what was happening there in the TV. So why I am telling, when one head is sitting with coat and tie, see, the other people also should be in dress code. Let it be in your country dress code, let it be in their country dress code. But you go to your dress code. But you are just going with half knicker and something, means it cannot be. So why I am telling this example, I am not criticizing anyone, my dear friends. that is not my duty. Okay, nurture the culture, empower the governors, give the autonomy. So this is the requirements, and this is the gist of the concentration of the national education policy is on that. Empowerment should be there, governance should be there, and autonomy should be there. This is what the national education policy says. Okay, I told about the dress code is my just only for an example, not for any other case. Dresses, of course, it is an individual matter outside the educational institution. Outside the education institution. Now, coming to the point by point, how this is the culture is being nurtured. Higher education institutions will be governed by independent board. Higher education institutions will be governed by independent board. There will be independent board, and all the higher education institutions will be coming under that with complete academic and administrative autonomy. Now the thing is, higher education institutions will be given complete academic autonomy, administrative autonomy, or independent board will be given that complete academic or autonomy. Here we have to analyze. So here the thing is, what educational policy says, independent board will be there. Higher education institutions will be working under this independent board, but complete academic autonomy will be given, administrative autonomy will be given to the higher education institution, and whatever the board says, whether it is being adopted properly or not, the independent board's responsibility. The formation and appointment of the board, the chair and the vice chancellor or director or chief executive, CEO, chief executive will ensure the elimination of the external interferences. What is the name? What is the function of the board? The board will say education institution will be functioning with complete academic freedom, complete administrative autonomy, complete academic autonomy. The board will check. What is the role of the board, independent board? The chairman or vice chairman or director or chief executive officer, CEO, will ensure that there should not be any external interference, including the government. Once the work is given to the education institution, the National Education Policy says 2020 says that there should not be any external interference, including the government, and will enable the engagement of the high capacity people with the commitment to the institution. High capacity people, where I told you faculty should be high capacity, and individual institutions, management, principal, heads of the department, dean, whatever you are calling, and they should also have the high capacity people. High capacity people means what? They should have uniform thinking, that is unity in command, unity of direction, everything will be there. 14 principles of management. All the high capacity people should have the identity of the mind as far as the functions of principles of management is concerned. This is the point number 1, gist of the point number 1. Institutions will be coming under independent board. That board will have the members, chairman, vice chancellor, director, chief executive, and these people are the capable people, and these people will see that external interference should not be there. Okay. Then next one is all higher education institutions will become autonomous self-governing entities. That's what I told you in the first. That is coming under independent board. Here it's a separate point. Autonomous self-governing entities, and the practice of affiliation will be stopped. Affiliated to this university, affiliated to that university will have the control over no. Every college, every institution will be having autonomous self-governing entities. You are responsible. A student is being created by you, produced by you. That is, it is your responsibility. He should have required quantity or quality of knowledge. It is their entity, that is their duty and responsibility. Then affiliated colleges will be supported to develop into autonomous degree. That means already in the class number 3 I told you that it will be autonomous degree granting college. There is no more affiliated colleges, and affiliated universities will develop into vibrant. I told you, vibrant. What is the meaning of the vibrant? Multidisciplinary institutions. See, empowered governance and autonomy, all the things will be changed in the name. Hereafter there is no affiliated colleges, but they are all called autonomous degree granting colleges. It is autonomous self-governing entities. You set the paper, you set the curriculum, you conduct the examination, you give the result, but the student should have high quality knowledge. This is the case. Then another, private and public institutions will be treated at par. Excellent policy. How is it possible? Because private people are money making. Everywhere money making. By regulatory regime, there will be a separate regulatory body for it. That regulatory regime will treat public as well as private. Commercialization of education will be totally stopped. That is the plus point of the then. And philanthropic efforts will be encouraged. What is the philanthropic effort? Charitable acts, the other good works. The students will be taken and they will be induced to contribute more for the well-being of the society, for the overall grade. That how much they are contributing to the society will be taken as the part of their what is called valuation of their marks and all. Test. It will also be taken into consider. Okay, then autonomy will be ingrained in the system. While you are making this, now we will say wherever you go, now the system is failure. Now another one more thing I am telling you. Maybe I am not criticizing the government, but simply I am telling. I can't understand. There are some rules people were telling. If a person is allowed to stay for rent for a period of more than 11 months or say 11 years, some period is there, then that man who is residing as a tenant, he can have the ownership of that. What type of rule it is? What type of rule it is? Just everybody should seriously think here. Is it good? Some people, they have invested their hard-earned money and they are giving that for rent for the monthly their expenses, or it may be on their request. 12 years, one reason or other, he is unable to come and take over the, that means change the tenancy. But suddenly, whether can he become the owner of that somebody's property? See, these are all called a defective system. Defective system. You, the young people, young generation people, I am very old. I can't fight hereafter. Why I am telling this? You are young generation. You have to think very seriously. Instead of watching TV, this, the message, that message, you see this type of lecture, this type of class. You seriously think about, today Rajavel sir told this thing. Yes, there is a mistake in the system. It should be ingrained, that good things should be ingrained in the system itself. What is it? Autonomy will be ingrained in the system. System itself should say that the college has the autonomy. Yes, question paper they can prepare, syllabus they can make it, a result they should get. That also, result should be normal, justifiable. It should be neutral. So he is my friend, he is friends for son, he is a minister. That should not be minister. Tomorrow if any query comes, you show, sir, this is what is our valuation. That's all. So autonomy is granted means that should be inside the system itself. Faculty will have academic freedom and curricular empowerment, including on pedagogical approaches. I told you pedagogy is the very number one. Student assessment and research. For everything, student assessment, research work, pedagogy system, methods of teaching, then how to determine what are the things are to be included in the curriculum. Everything should be up to the group of faculties. They will have to sit and decide. They should be having academic freedom. Good policy. Then institutions will have administrative and academic autonomy. I have already told you. This will include the freedom to start and run the program. See, when in the year 2019, just before the Corona starts, I gave a suggestion to the banker. Sir, why don't you give some fund to conduct programs of financial literacy to the non-commerce students. Previously it was there, but non-commerce student it was not given. Maybe due to the less thinking about why the non-commerce students are to be interested. When I told this, the numbered manager, he is very nice gentleman. Immediately he accepted and he told, sir, you conduct. You have your own program. So I have conducted near about 2 to 3 financial literacy programs. Like this, the institutions should have academic freedom, autonomy. Yeah, I feel this particular program is must. Decide the curricula. Okay. Now, decide student capacity, decide resource requirements, then develop the internal system, including governance and people management system, how to manage people. Decide that let the institution decide. What are the resources are important for the teaching community? Let that institution decide. Okay, higher education institutions will be developed truly into autonomous, independent and self-governing entities. Yes, powers are given that should not be misused. That is the gist of this policy, new education policy. Now, next transformation of regulatory system. How? What are the names are changing? A particular existing department will be changed into like this. That is transformation, transformation. From here, you give it here. So that regulatory system, how it is. Regulation will be responsive and minimalistic to ensure public spiritedness, equity, excellence, financial stability, and probity. Probity is a very good word. You, my dear young students, learns the vocabularies. Probity. Some people sternly they may say probity. It's very difficult. Don't listen that type of language, people. Probity. Then what you can say? Probity. Use like this, probity. That means honesty, integrity, strong moral principles. These are all very much essential nowadays. Nowadays, particularly for the higher education system, there is a wrong notion, my dear friends. Once a higher education institution comes in, there is a wrong notion among the students. We need not carry books. You simply carry one new paper with you with the pen. Whatever lecturer says, you just take. These are all wrong notions. Then once if you come to the higher education institution, you are free bird. You can just, both the boys and girls can sit together. They can just love each other. What type of principle all these things? What type of principle all these things? Nowadays, there is a common thinking like this. Not in all colleges, but in certain places. Honesty should be there, integrity should be there, strong moral principles should be there. That is probity. It can also refer ethical behavior. Whoever it is, our honorable, respected Prime Minister ji, he told wherever he goes, he says, Namaskar. Don't touch the people. What is the necessity of touching the people, either male or female? Keep some distance. Only if pandemic disease comes, then we have to keep the distance. Otherwise not. No, always you keep the distance. Whoever it is, brother, sister, friend, male, female, whatever it is. So while you are just talking, keep your distance. At least 1 meter, keep your distance. So these are all moral principles. That is called probity. This education policy gives that probity, and regulation that responsive and minimalistic to ensure the public spiritedness. And so public people should be always interested. If any problem comes, the public people should come and ask what is the problem. Okay. So along with the good governance. Good governance is very important. Okay, this is the transformation of the regulatory system. Then functions of standard setting, quality, minimum quality will be the standard and minimum standard will be the quality. One definition, what is a quality? Quality means minimum acceptable standard. Then what is standard? Minimum acceptable quality. So that standard setting, who will do? See, functions of standard setting, functions of funding, functions of accreditation, and regulation, functions of regulation will be separated and conducted by the independent bodies. I told you in the very first itself, independent bodies, all institutions will be coming under independent bodies, eliminating the concentration of power and conflict of interest. Concentration of only one person, he should come and take the decision. Only if he comes, then we will say start it. No. Concentration of power, eliminate it. Everybody is having equal power. Conflict in the interest. Even the last man should be benefited. Nobody is having the right to say he should not be given anything. So the function, it will be conducted by the independent bodies. Then the National Higher Education Regulatory Authority, National Higher Education, NHERA, National Higher Education Regulatory Authority will be the only regulator for all higher education, including professional education. Professional education means, I told you, accounting education, medicine education, engineering education, law education. For all education, National Higher Education Regulatory Authority, it will be set up. All current regulatory bodies will transform into professional standard setting bodies. So far regulatory bodies, Existing regulatory bodies are here. Presently, those who are calling themselves as regulatory bodies or those who are being appointed as regulatory bodies before, prior to this national education policy, the name will be transformed as a professional standard setting bodies. Your work is only you standard set. They will be coordinating with the independent bodies. The current University Grants Commission will transform. The name will be changed. Higher Education Grants Council, HEGC, Higher Education Grants Council. Okay, transformation of regulatory system. These are all very, very important for preliminary IAS questions, all competitive examinations, even for general knowledge, quiz programs. These are all very, very important, my dear friends. Don't skip even a single page. The General Education Council will be set up. General Education Council will be set up and will develop the National Higher Education Qualification Framework. In class number 2, I told you, National Higher Education Qualifications Framework. Everything will be coming under this framework. To define the graduate attributes, postgraduate attributes, master degree attributes, that is expected learning outcomes. Expected learning outcomes. Say, I have a bad habit. If I travel by a bus, if I am going and some small boys, say 12th standard, 10th standard, 5th standard, 2nd standard, they come, I will just interact with them. I say, what's your name? So my name is Raja. Okay, which class you are studying? Sir, I am in 10th standard. Come on, you just tell me 65 into 65 how much? Sir, calculator, I want calculator. Why? A 10th standard boy, he cannot calculate, he cannot multiply just without any pen and pencil paper. Can't he say this? Can't he say this? Definitely he can say, he should say. Expected learning outcomes. So what is his what should be his capacity? What should be his learning outcomes? That will be determined by National Higher Education Qualification Framework. They will define what is the expected learning outcome. Okay, so this is a fourth point. Then another, accreditation. What is the accreditation? It's a process of evaluating the institution. Accreditation means it is a process of evaluation of the institution. They will go to the team will go to the institution. They will call all they will visit department by department. They will call the department faculties along with the head of the department. The head of the department will narrate what is actually going inside, how many faculties they have, what are the specialization of the faculties, or how many numbers of, say what is the total number of students, UG, PG, everything that they will discuss, and what type of classes, how many classes, if there is any problem, that problem can be discussed. And this is the work, evaluation of the institution. That accreditation on the basic parameters will form the basic for the regulation. I told you, General Education Council will be set up and will develop the National Higher Education Qualification Framework. Who? General Education Council. So on what basis? For the regulation purpose, the accreditation basic parameters they will fix. The National Assessment and NAC, people used to say NAAC, NAC. Our college is now A class NAC assessed college. Good assessment. The people came, very excellent experts came, and they spent more than 3 hours in our department. They were very happy. They gave star qualification to my department in the college. It is a star qualified department in my department, postgraduate department of commerce. Jawaharlal Nehru Rajkiya Mahavidyalaya, Port Blair. So they have assessed, they have seen, they talked with my students. They inquired without our presence about the quality of the teachers. They were very happy. Council will develop the ecosystem of accreditation institutions and oversee the process. Okay, yes, I think, are you getting bored? I hope certainly not, because I'm so friendly. Step stop pedagogy I am using for your easy purpose, cutting and explaining, and I'm taking the other point. Okay, it's not like some other some classes of sophisticated languages. The 50% they don't know, 50% you cannot understand. It is not like that. Very slow, step, stop, discuss, then step, stop, like that. Okay, then there will be a common regulatory regime for public and private higher education institution. Common regulatory regime. I told you there won't be any difference between public and private colleges and government colleges, because there was a notion the private colleges for the commercial purpose the fees are more. So hereafter it is not like that. Common regulatory regime will be there for both public as well as private educational institutions. Okay, then state departments of higher education will be involved. State Department of Higher Education, the Tamil Nadu government, they will have the higher education ministry or something separately department they will have involved in the policy level. State councils of higher education will facilitate peer support and best practice sharing. They will be invited. They will be requested to give their support and their practice share. They will be asked to give their ideas. Importance is being given. Only this educational policy is giving this type of so free, frank. It's an excellent policy, I'm telling. Then let us go for analysis. So far we have discussed the concentration of the National Higher Education 2020. Now let us analyze. So what is the gist? To the extent of my knowledge is concerned, I can't claim that I know everything. So I know little. That little knowledge, with the help of my little knowledge, I have slightly analyzed. Maybe wrong, maybe acceptable, maybe objectionable, maybe criticizable, whatever it is. To my knowledge, I have analyzed it. Let us go. In higher education, a restructuring of higher education institution with the three types of higher education institution is proposed. Three types. I told you type 1, type 2, type 3, or type A, type B, type C. I already discussed while I was discussing in that particular class. What is this? Focused on world-class research and high-quality teaching. That is the first one, type 1. Focused on high-quality teaching across disciplines and significant contribution to the research, post-graduation, master degree. Then high-quality teaching focused on undergraduate education, bachelor degree. This will be driven to mission. How? Mission Nalanda and Mission Takshashila. So this is the first gist of this National Education Policy 2020. Your question will be, what is the main gist of the restructure? Restructure, how the new education policy 2019 or National Education Policy 2020 restructured. Three types of restructured. One is focused on world-class research above PhD, the PG after the completion of PG. Focused on high-quality teaching across the discipline and a significant contribution of research to the research. PG. Then high-quality teaching focused on undergraduate education with or without research. That means I will see next. There will be restructuring. There will be restructuring of undergraduate programs. For example, BCom, BSc, BA, B vocational courses of maybe 3 years, maybe 4 years duration, with the multiple exit and entry option. Here, the multiple exit and entry option. This is very important here. This is very important. Then next, a new apex body. What is the name of that body? Rashtriya Shiksha Ayog. Rashtriya Shiksha Ayog is proposed to enable a holistic and integrated implementation of all educational initiatives and programmatic interventions, and to uh, coordinate efforts between the center and the state. See, I told you a lot of councils. Then other than the councils and all, there will be apex body, a top level body. What is the name of it? Rashtriya Shiksha Ayog. That is proposed. That is proposed to enable a holistic, integrity, implement all educational initiatives. Whatever the education policy says, these are the programs, these are the framework, everything, whatever the initiative, that they will go with a programmatic interventions and to coordinate all the efforts between the center and the state. The National Research Foundation, this is also an apex body, is proposed for certain strong research culture and building research capacity. See, research is the basis of the innovations and invention. Across the higher education, hereafter, no, all education will have at least some research. Already some universities have started. The Pondicherry University, they have started research work in the name of project work. They have started even for BCom. I don't know how the teaching faculties are executing, implementing that. I do not know. But Pondicherry University is the best university, and they have included all these things in the curriculum. The National Research Foundation, an apex body, is proposed for certain strong research culture and building research capacity across the higher education. See, once you are coming to the college level, you should think about the research. Your brain should start work for innovation and invention. New ideas are to be generated. That is why now IIT, why the IIT students are wanted everywhere? Because from their basic first year onwards they start doing the research work and all. So the new education policy gives the ways for all this thing. The 4-year program will provide students the opportunity to experience the full range of liberal education. 4-year program. This will be called as Bachelor of Liberal Arts in chosen major or minor subjects with free entries. Free entries and free exit. 3-year degree program. 3-year program will lead to a bachelor degree. Both programs may lead to a degree with honors, provided if you do the research work in the degree level itself. Then certain professional streams. I told you professional team, teacher education, accounts course, engineering, medicine, law may have not 3 years. They will have always 4 years. 4 years or sometimes even 5 years or more for undergraduate degree. So MBBS 4.5 years. We should not say it should be in 3 years. Okay. So this is other analyzation of this. 4 functions of, what are the 4 functions of this? Is the another main objective: standard setting, funding, accreditation and regulation. The 4 functions of standard setting, funding, accreditation and regulation to be separated and conducted by the independent bodies, about which I told some just a few minutes back. Independent bodies. They will have standard setting, there will be independent bodies, funding, there will be independent body, accreditation, there will be independent body. Then National Higher Education Regulatory Authority as the only regulator for all higher education, including professional education. This also we discussed. UGC to transform to Higher Education Grants Commission. Whatever I am discussing now have already been discussed. Now it is only analyzation. Now, private and public institutions will be treated at par. On, it's not on, it's or. And education will remain not for profit. I told you, the commercialization, education for commercialization will be totally removed. Non-profit, not for profit entity activity. Whether you are a private institution or public institutions, we don't mind. There should be no profit for your institution. several new policy initiatives for promoting internationalization of higher education. International, that faculties from foreign countries and our faculties should be transformed, rotated between two countries. Send Dr. Rajvel to abroad. You just go and teach. What is your pedagogy? Let them understand. You call from the people from the other international countries. Let them say their pedagogy and let them teach. Then strengthening quality in open and distance learning. Quality in open and distance learning. The system is still going. Technology integration at all levels of education. Adult and lifelong learning and initiatives to enhance participation of underrepresented groups. And initiatives to enhance the participation of underrepresented groups. Underrepresented group means what? Minority people. Now it is very difficult to say who is minority, who is majority. Anyway, initiatives to enhance the participation of underrepresented groups and eliminate gender, social category and regional gaps in education outcomes are recommended. Several new education policy initiatives promoting internationalization, strengthening the quality. These are the lot of guidelines are given in the Educational Policy 2020. Dear friends, so far we have analyzed the full what is called this new education policy 2019, and after the acceptance it has become National Education Policy 2020. So next we will go for next chapter number, I think, 5. We will go for suggestions and request in the next class. This is suggestion and request means I as a separate professor, retired person, suggestions and request I have placed. I might, by thinking that I am in the what is called geographically disadvantaged area, as one among them I have suggested, and it is my humble request to the Government of India. Accepting or granting, rejecting, it is up to the government. Okay, let us meet in the next class. Okay, dear friends, it is my small request. I have created a safe group. If you are interested, by taking over the following links, you can join. Let us meet in the class 5.